Gaur say Jagannath, Jai Gaur say Krishna say Jagannath. Jai Gaur say Krishna say Jagannath, Jai Gaur say Krishna say Jagannath. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Subhadramai Jaya Sudarshana. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Subhadramai Jaya Sudarshana. Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Gaura Hari Gaura Hari Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Gaura Hari Gaura Hari Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki Gaur Hari ki Simantini Devi ki Rajapur Dham ki Simantadvip ki Nitai Gaur Premanande. Can we have all the devotees who are roaming around also to sit? Come fast. Can we all come a bit closer? Everyone come closer. Very well. Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Jata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagan Sajivam Sadvaitam Dhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Nishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda नहीं 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 ऐसा नहीं चलता है वो आंख में दिखना चाहिए My classes are tuned like that. You know, I see in the eyes and make out if people are eager to hear, then I'll speak.
May all get eyes of Jagannath.
Very well. Let me start from 7th century history. So in Jagannath Puri, it was very natural that these Mughals, these Muslim invaders, they would come and they would try to destroy the temple multiple ways. One time, there was an invader whose name was Rakta Bahu. Bahu means hand and Rakta means blood. His hands would be always stained with blood. He would be killing so many people like that. And he was attacking Jagannath Puri. And the entire goal was to destroy the temple and the deities, including people there. So the devotees went to Jagannath and they started intensely praying that we cannot bear this. If he comes and does anything to you or this to the temple, we will not be able to retain our lives. We will give up our lives. This is called love for the Lord. There's so many personalities, so many kings in Jagannath Puri in the past who were ready to do anything for Jagannath, including giving up their life. This was their love for Jagannath. And when this prayer was made to Jagannath at that time, the devotees were very clear that anything happens to you, we cannot retain our life because it's our duty to take care of you, and if you are not taken care, then we cannot retain our life, so we'll give up our life. That night, in the head pujari's dream, Jagannath comes and he says that carry me, my brother, my sister and Sudarshan to Bengal, and I will give the rest of the directions. And in Jagannath Puri, the different personalities different devotees have different services. Like there are few who are the pujaris there. There are few who are cooks, and there is also there's a category of devotees known as shabaras who carry Jagannath. They are very hefty. So the head pujari, he informed, saying that Jagannath has instructed that carry me to this desha, this place, Bengal. And it is described that they started carrying Jagannath and they entered a forest. Now Rakta Bahu is coming from that side, he couldn't find the deities. Jagannath has entered the forest. Look at the seva bhav of these devotees, such amazing seva bhav. When it was night time, at evening time, they made an altar there in the forest. They kept Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Sudarshan on the altar. They got flowers, leaves and fruits. And they continued doing the regular seva what they were doing in Jagannath Puri. And then Jagannath gave them next directions. And finally, after traveling for a long time, they came to this place. And they kept Jagannath here. And Jagannath again instructs them in the dream that I have come to the right place, I would like to settle here. Can you imagine? So that Jagannath from Jagannath Puri came here to this place. So this Rajapur Jagannath is not different than the Jagannath in Jagannath Puri. Congratulations. So next year no need of Jagannath Puri Yatra. And it's very nice to note that he comes here, but this was in 7th century. And with time, the entire place gets submerged in water. Even the deities disappeared. And then comes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This was 16th century. So 7th century Lord came and he established this place. So his residence is fixed. Therefore, one thing we have to understand is that whenever Lord comes at one point, when he establishes himself at one place, and when the worship begins, he resides there eternally. One simple example. There were, if I'm not wrong, dacoits or some animals. They were just going round and round in a place. And they died in the course of going round and round, and they got 400 form and they went back home. Now the one who was watching was very astonished. What is this? And then after a good research, it was known that there was a temple before in that place. So I was thinking when we vacate our 3rd floor and shift to the new temple in the Ajagonanalli center or Ajagonanalli land. So in future, anyone goes round and round to that building. Or even for that matter, the 4-5 bases that we have, same thing with that also. So the Lord resides eternally, he does his pastimes eternally. Now during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, There was a great devotee, and his name was Jagdish Ganguly. So when Jagdish Ganguly was here, Jagdish Prabhu was here. So at that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri. And it was the routine of all the Bengali devotees that they would travel from here to Jagannath Puri every year for 4 months, starting from Rath Yatra, till Kartik. They'll be there. So this personality, Jagdish Prabhu, was such a great personality that every year he would be going there to take darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath. But with time, due to some disease, he lost his eyes. He became blind. And that particular year, since he was old, he was blind, his friends told him that we'll not be able to take you this time. It's very dangerous. We have to go through the forest and various other paths. We cannot take you this time. And they left. This devotee, Jagdish Prabhu, he was feeling so morose, so sad that this year I'm not able to go to Jagannath Puri to see Jagannath. I'm not able to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm not able to take his darshan. So in this mood, at night, in that agony, with that sadness, he went to rest. And in the dream, Lord Jagannath appears. See, anyone who is very attached and connected to the Lord cannot see that devotee sad. And especially sad for his darshan. Lord gives darshan. And Lord tells him that don't worry. Tomorrow morning when you will go for taking your bath in Ganga, at that time there will be a log of wood that will come. And that log of wood, as soon as it touches your head, you'll regain your eyesight. अभी आगे का प्लान सुनिए. After hearing that, Jagdish Prabhu happened, Hari Bol. Unka Hari Bol ho gaya. Hear what happened. And then Jagannath says, that log of wood you have to take to a carpenter in a nearby village, and he is afflicted by leprosy. So he doesn't have fingers and all that, it's all melted. But you should request him to carve my deity out of this log of wood. He will say no, but you have to convince him. देखिए ये है जगन्नाथ का प्लान. मतलब सर्विस भी देंगे तो ऐसा एकदम. And as soon as the dream got over, Jagdish Prabhu, he got up from his dream and he was so enthusiastic. He went to take bath in Ganga, and when he was taking bath, there came a log of wood floating and touched his head, and he got his eyesight back. Now Jagdish Prabhu, he got a lot of faith. He took that wood and he went to that leper in the nearby village and he said that you have to carve deity of Jagannath from this log of wood. And he showed his fingers. See, I cannot do. I don't have fingers. How will I do? And he was afflicted by leprosy. And he's saying, I cannot do. But Jagdish Prabhu knew the instruction. He will say, no, but you have to convince him, you have to persuade and make sure that he does this seva. And after a long argument and a lot of different discussions, finally the carpenter agreed. And then he started carving the deity out of the wood. But when he was doing that, he was feeling a lot of pain. The blood was coming out from his hand. And Jagdish Ganguly was there. He was sitting there and making sure that he will carve. Because Jagannath had also told in the dream that when he carves my deity, immediately his leprosy will be gone. He will be cured from the leprosy. At that time, getting cured of leprosy is something which is out of question. Anyone who gets leprosy will be put outside the village. And this was told, and then he's encouraging, you can do it. And the leper is going around, he's trying his best to carve the deity out of the log of wood. And when the entire carving was done, at that time, the leper's leprosy got completely cured. He got his fingers back, he got all the limbs which were melted, all was back. He was all healthy. And that Jagannath is the same Jagannath whom you took darshan of. Now only Jagannath, what about Baldev, Subhadra, Sudarshan? So that night when the deity was carved, again Jagannath appears in the dream of Jagdish Prabhu and he says that tomorrow go and get the neem wood which is there in the nearby village and give it to the same carpenter and ask him to carve the deities of Balbhadra and Subhadra and Sudarshan. And then he gets up, he gets the log of wood and he asks the carpenter, the carving is done, and then we have Jagannath, we have Baladev, we have Sudarshan and Subhadra Mai, all three of them. So this is 17th century pastime. You can imagine 17th century, all these different pastimes took place. He continued doing his seva. He didn't stop. But then how long can a devotee continue doing his seva? The body is limited. So this devotee, when he left his body and his entire family also left this village due to some epidemic, the entire temple became unmanifest. So you can imagine Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Maharani, Sudarshan are there and the temple collapses, but the roof is there. But around the entire place, the entire temple crashes and the deities are not seen. The deities are hidden now. And it so happens that no one is able to make out that this was a temple before and there are deities inside. Another very important thing. There was huge hill of termites that got formed on these three deities. You understand termites? What do termites eat? Wood. So they made the hill. You might have seen the hill also. The ant hill types, yes. So termites made that hill. And the entire, or all the three deities, they were submerged under this hill. And the roof is there and all around, they're covered by various stones and whatever was there, the wood log and the leaves and trunks or whatever around. And for a long time, this place remained hidden. But it is described that there were many times when people would hear from this entire place, which was like a mountain almost, a very weird sound which would say, "We are thirsty, give me water. We are thirsty, give us water. We are hungry, give us food." Now just imagine that you see a weird sort of mountain and from that you're getting these sounds. So there were people who went close to that and put their ears and again they're hearing the sound. "We are here, we are thirsty, give us water." And anyone who would hear that, they would run away from that place immediately. So this was happening. So for a long time, it remained unmanifest. But see, Jagannath, he decides when his seva begin or when will the seva begin and when his seva will stop or pause. When will the deities manifest, when will the deities unmanifest, everything Lord decides. Now someone will ask this question that, how come? What is the reason behind? He's Swarad, he will decide. There is no reason. It's all illogical when it comes to Lord's plan for his own pastimes. So Lord decided and he inspired another devotee and his name was Jaimini. Jaimini Ghosh. He appears in the dream of Jaimini Ghosh and he says that I am here under this entire debris. This all log of wood that you can see and all the crap that you can see, I am there below that. And my worship has been stopped. Please come and rescue me from here and begin my worship. So at that time, Jaimini, he goes to the owner of this place. And the owner's name was Pathik Chatterjee. What was his name? In whose dream did Jagannath come? Jaimini. Okay. Who was that blind person? Jagdish Ganguly. Yes. उठे हैं ना सब लोग? ठीक है. Now Pathik Chatterjee, he came with a team of devotees. They removed all the external things which were there and they were able to see the hill. And they removed the hill and they were able to see the deities of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Sudarshan ki. Now there is an astonishing thing here. It was the hill of termites, but nothing happened to Jagannath's deity. It was intact. Balbhadra and Subhadra's deity had some problems here and there, which was repaired. And Patik Chatterjee, the owner of this place at that time, he became the pujari. And the worship began. So 7th century, 16th century, and after that again, this worship began. Now this worship was going on very nicely, but Patik Chatterjee, with time he became old. And he had this concern now, who is going to continue this worship? He was very much concerned. At that time, our Mayapur temple was getting constructed. And our devotees would go around for Gaur Mandal Parikrama. So once, this was in the year 1978. In the year 1978, our devotees came here. The devotees were led by one of the Prabhupada's disciples, whose name is His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. So he came here with the team, with the group of devotees. At that time, Patik Chatterjee, he was very happy to see that so many devotees from foreign countries, they're dancing in ecstasy, chanting Jai Sachidanandana Gaura Hari. And he was overwhelmed to see them. And he had the faith that these people will take care of my Jagannath very nicely. So at that time, Patik Chatterjee went to Jayapataka Maharaj and he asked that I have become old. Will you all continue doing worship, taking care of the seva of Jagannath? And Jayapataka Maharaj turns towards the devotees and he asked, are you all interested to serve Jagannath? And all the devotees said, इतने आराम से तो नहीं बोले थे. Much louder, please. And that was the year when this place was given to ISKCON. And from that day onwards, the worship began, and the ISKCON devotees were coming here. They started coming and they started worshipping. Now, few pastimes which I would like to highlight. It is so wonderful that these deities which you saw, which you took darshan of, they are 500 years old. In fact, we can trace more than 500 years, but minimum 500 years old. Such ancient deities. And there are many pastimes, which have happened here, which are happening even today. Therefore, I said, after hearing about Jagannath, you would like to take his darshan, but the altar is closed. You all took darshan properly? Everyone? Okay, let's hear more pastimes now. Now, here, when the entire place was taken over by ISKCON, so you see, ISKCON has the worship standards which are there. So the standards are maintained. Wherever ISKCON takes over any temple, the entire place is developed, and it is developed in such a way that tourists from all over the place would come to that temple. And here also, the temple was still old. It was a temporary setup that was there. But various different ceremonies started, like Snan Yatra. It was Snan Yatra. And one of the auto driver, he came to this place. Let me see if his name is mentioned. No. So auto driver came here and then he attended Snan Purnima festival. And khichdi was distributed on that day. So he took khichdi for himself, he had it. And then he took khichdi for his friend, who was a Muslim. And then he went and he gave the khichdi prasad to the Muslim friend. But then when he was giving, so at that time, this Muslim friend who was there, he said, I don't take food offered to idols. And he rejected. Now, the friend who was there, the auto driver, he became very sad. But the next day, this Muslim who was there, he came running to the temple and he was asking, Khichdi Prasad. Khichdi Prasad. Khichdi Prasad. And the pujari, was astonished. Pujari is like, there's so many other things which are there. No, I can give you that. He said, no, yesterday's khichdi prasad only I want. Now pujari, this Muslim who was there, he was very, very much in anxiety, and he was like, no, I want yesterday's khichdi prasad. And pujari started asking, what happened? Why do you want yesterday's khichdi prasad? And then he came and then he showed the deities. And he said, do you see this white person who is there? Yesterday he came in my dream. He sat on my chest. He was pressing my neck. And he was saying that you rejected my brother's prasad. I'll kill you today. And my neck was choked. And this yellow lady, you see, she was telling, kill him, kill him, kill him. But I tell you, this black personality was very merciful. He told them that leave it. It's okay, Balram, leave it, it's okay. He has learnt his lessons. And Balram, with his huge eyes, he warned me, if you do this again. And therefore today I have come, I want yesterday's khichdi only, please give me yesterday's khichdi. And Pujari went around searching and he found some khichdi of yesterday and then he gave it to him. And with a lot of awe and reverence, this Muslim person, he had khichdi and he became a devotee. For your information, the Muslims around in this place, they are also devotees of Jagannath. There's so many pastimes like that where these people from other faith, they have realized the mercy of Jagannath and they would come and take darshan of Jagannath. I'm remembering another pastime. A Muslim family, very, very poor, had their daughter. They had a daughter and the daughter was blind, due to some reason. They went around to various doctors, nothing was happening. They didn't have much money also. And they came to this temple because they heard about Jagannath. Anyone who goes to Jagannath and pray, their desires will be fulfilled. But the altar is closed now. इसलिए मैं कह रहा था. The Lord is merciful. But he is resting. And they came here and they prayed. The devotees prayed for them. They also prayed to Jagannath. Charanamrit was given. And that daughter, she slept, and next day morning when she got up, she was able to see. She got her eyesight back. Oh. So many pastimes like this, so many pastimes where Jagannath has proved, I am here. I am sitting here to bless everyone who comes and takes my darshan and ask whatever you want, I'll give. So now when this temple was not constructed completely, so at that time there was no kitchen here. So kitchen was there 5 kilometers from here in our temple, Chandrodaya Mandir. So the pujari who would be worshipping here, so he would be getting bhoga from there in a tiffin carrier on his cycle. He'll come here and then he'll offer and then pack the prasad back and take it back and distribute. So one day what happened is he got the bhoga and then he kept everything ready for offering, and then he realized there's no tulsi. And then he was seeing that there are a lot of dogs around. Now for your information, one of the 64 offenses, the seva aprad that is mentioned is the food that is seen by the dogs and the non-devotees, that cannot be offered to the Lord. If that is offered, that's one of the offense. Now this pujari was knowing that this is an offense. So he was thinking, now if I leave this bhoga here and go back, what if the dogs come and honor the bhoga, even before it becomes prasad? So he was thinking that, and then he decided that I'll not go back. And then he started speaking to Jagannath, and he told Jagannath that, see, I've forgotten tulsi. I know that you don't accept anything without tulsi, but today thoda manage kar lo. He closed the altar, he chanted the mantras, and a lot of bhogas were kept. And here in Bengal and Orissa and all, you'll see that they keep a mountain of rice with ghee and they offer. And then this offering was going on, and then he's chanting his mantras. And after some time, when he opened the altar, he was astonished to see that there was a 10-inch branch of tulsi with tulsi leaf in that mountain of rice. And when he opened the altar, the only thing that he could say was, Jagannath Swami ki, Tulsi Maharani ki. Jagannath is very, very merciful. And Prabhuji was sharing that he was a Prabhupada disciple, who got this miraculous experience or reciprocation from Jagannath. और सुनेंगे क्या? Now, pujaris were coming and doing the seva here. But His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj was not informed that seva is happening here. And some papers were still remaining, to be signed by people, who were owning this land. The main personality gave, but then it's not so easy to get a land. If you want to know more details, you can talk to Harikshitra Prabhu, he'll tell you. so many times Prabhuji and a few other devotees, they went back and forth to get that land, which we have in Ajagonnanhalli. Now so many people have to sign. So few people here also were remaining to sign. Now one day, the Jayapataka Maharaj, he announced that we will not establish the standard of worship here, will not do regular worship here till all the papers are signed. Now that pujari who was coming here, he stopped coming. He stopped coming with the bhoga. And that night, in the dream of the pujari, I'm telling you, these deities are very powerful. अगर आप लोगों ने ठीक से दर्शन लिया रहेगा तो आज आपके रात को आपके ड्रीम में भी. So in the dream of the pujari is standing here in the temple, and Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, they are walking out of the temple and they are going. And then pujari is saying, where are you going? Wait, where are you going? And Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Maharani, they are saying, we are going to Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir. There we heard there is good bhoga offering that is going on. Here you're not offering, so I'm going. And the pujari got up, with this astonishing dream. He went to Maharaj and he told Maharaj that this was the dream. And Maharaj said, I was not knowing that you people have already started offering bhoga. Continue the worship, continue the offering. And the offering continued after that. And Jagannath was happy again with his huge smile. And we understand that when Snan Purnima happens, Jagannath goes for rest. And it is believed that Jagannath gets fever. Here also, now also, we have this Snan Purnima. I was reading about this Snan Purnima that is celebrated here. So from Ganga, all the devotees who are qualified, they carry a pot of water from there and they come walking in Sankirtan. And all of them get the opportunity. I don't know if that is the case now, but it was there in the article. And they pour that water on the deities. And it goes on for a long time, for hours together. Even in Jagannath Puri, you see, it goes on for hours together. And after that, since so much of cold water bath, yes, Jagannath gets cold. He gets fever. And then the temple is closed for some time, for a few days. And medicinal juices are given, for the Lord. And I heard that even those medicinal juices are very tasty. Some pujaris were sharing. So, one of the devotee, what is his name? His name was Gaur Hari Das, Gaur Hari Prabhu. So he was here and then he was thinking that really, they get fever, they get cold. And when the temple was closed, so he was able to hear the sound of sneezing. Akshu. And then no one was there around. He was the one. And then he was searching, who is that person? And then he came close to the temple and then he put his ears to the door and again he heard that sneezing sound. And then he realized, actually Jagannath gets cold. He got that sakshat realization where Jagannath sneezed and then he made it sure that yes, I get cold to do proper seva. Oh, so many pastimes where Jagannath has proved that whoever comes and prays to him, their desires are fulfilled. And there's so many, I was reading in that book, there's a book on Rajapur Jagannath. I'll not be able to cover all the pastimes. You all can take that book and read. I think it should be available here. In that, there are so many couples who came here who were not able to beget a child. And they would come here and pray to Jagannath. And one of the devotee was saying, in that article, that Jagannath likes the barter system. That you give me something, then I'll fulfill your desire. So one such devotee, this was in 2000s, now, in recent past, that she was coming and she had heard these different pastimes that, whoever comes here prays for a child, they get a child and all that. But she was here doing seva. She was doing seva, regularly she was doing seva, and she was praying that, Jagannath, I don't have a child, please bless me with a child. And then she was not able to beget a child. And then she was reminded of one thing, that Jagannath likes this give and take. Then one day she prayed to Jagannath, that, oh Jagannath, if you bless me with the child, firstly I'll name that child's name, I'll give my child the name Jagannath. And before that, in my pregnancy, and even after that when my child takes birth, I will glorify you all the time. And she was sharing her experience that when she offered this prayer in next few days or in next few months, she got this experience and she started feeling that she is conceiving. And then she didn't share with anyone. She waited for some more time. And when it was confirmed, then she realized Jagannath's mercy. And then there were many times she was sharing that whenever I would start speaking anything apart from glorification of Jagannath, somehow the other person would remind me in somehow the other way that you're supposed to glorify Jagannath. Sometimes it might be a dream, or sometimes people would come and tell. And she continued glorifying Jagannath. And guess what? By Jagannath's mercy, she was blessed with a baby boy. And that baby boy was named as Jagannath. And Jagannath would also come, and very wonderful thing, that when the baby started speaking a little bit, so the parents took the baby to the temple, Chandrodaya Mandir, and they were telling, Panchatattva, Gaur Hari, Radha Madhav. And whenever they would go to Panchatattva, and they say Panchatattva, the baby would say, Jaga, 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 Jaga. And the baby was not happy. Narsimhadev, Jaga, 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 Jaga. And literally the parents are saying that article that we were looking at the face of the baby and the baby was always sad. Then they went to Radha Madhav Ashtasakhi. Anyone who sees Radha Madhav Ashtasakhi, naturally smile would come. But this baby was looking at them and it was only saying Jaga, 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 Jaga. And then finally they realized that the give and take is not complete. They got the baby here. And then when the baby was standing in front of Jagannath, the baby was having huge smile on the face. And it was saying, Jaga, 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 Jaga. Jagannath Swami ki Jai. Oh, he's live, he's present here. When the construction of this place was going on, so there was a person, a worker only. Every day, when he would come here, when the construction work is going on, as a ritual, every day he would steal one marble piece from here and take to his home. Every day he would do that. And marble pieces were getting piled up in his home. One day, in the dream of that person, Balaram comes. Again, Balaram, with his angry eyes, was looking at Jagannath. He was looking at that thief, the marble thief, and he was scolding him. How dare you take the marble that is used for the construction of my brother's temple? And he scolded him nicely. And also he said, if you don't give back all these marble pieces which are there, your entire family will be destroyed. I will do that. Next day, he came here, he confessed that he was the marble thief. He got all those marble slabs and he gave it back. This is Jagannath. They are live here. But what to do? Altar is closed. Altar is closed. Okay, last pastime for today. Many more are there, but you have to have. You all are hungry also. You might be.
Not hungry.
Okay, with names I would like to tell. So one family came, the head of the family's name was Sadhana Siddha. So they were there taking darshan of Jagannath, and they went out, mother and father. So the son who was there, young boy, his name was Dalim. He came inside and then he was looking at the altar. And after some time, he came out crying very loudly. He came very loudly, he was crying, piteously he was crying. And he was gasping for his breath. And he came to his mother and he was crying, and mother asking, Beta, what happened? What happened? And he was not able to speak anything. And after some time, when he became calm, he was asked, what happened? And hear this carefully. The boy said that when I entered the altar, no one was there. So there was a nice brooch, a nice pendant-like thing. Now that Subhadra Maharani was wearing. I thought I will get that. And I went close to touch that. And we have two people, no? One side Jagannath, one side Balram. This boy was close to Balram. And this boy said that this white deity, he moved his hand to such a great extent that hit me and I fell outside the temple. And he said, no, that it was really hard. And he was crying and crying and crying. You cannot touch anything here in the temple. It is so wonderful that we have Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra Maharani here. Not different from Jagannath Puri. Anyone who begs them anything, they fulfill their desire. Yes. And if I'm not wrong, even if they're asleep, they'll fulfill their desire. Even when the altar is closed, you can pray. You can pray. See, this one thing we have to understand is that Lord manifests in His deity form for two reasons. One is to accept the seva from the devotee and to reciprocate with the devotee by giving the chance to the devotee to offer prayers, to do seva and ask whatever we want. And there's nothing wrong to ask anything material to the Lord if that enhances our devotional service. But an intelligent devotee is the one who will pray for the advancement in Krishna consciousness. And this place is very powerful. After hearing all these pastimes, I'm sure the faith of all the devotees might have increased. Even if the altar is not opened, you can carry a photo of Jagannath with their huge eyes, with their huge smile. One of the devotees was sharing that if you see their tilak, there's a heart shape that is there. Normally you don't have heart shape. So the devotee was sharing that, obviously it was his purport. So he's sharing that how Jagannath reciprocates directly, from his heart, to the heart of the devotee. So we are here in this place. So let's pray to Lord Jagannath. We have come all the way from Bangalore to take his darshan. And I'm sure the devotees, are eager, to advance in Krishna consciousness. You'll offer intense prayers. So pray intensely to Jagannath that please empower us so that we can practice bhakti very nicely every single day. We can preach this message of Krishna consciousness for the pleasure of our acharyas. And finally, Janma Sarthaka Kari. We are also interested to attain Krishna's eternal service this very life. So let's pray intensely to Jagannath and then honor Jagannath Prasad. You remember the first pastime that I said, the Muslim? कुछ नहीं छोड़ना plate में. So let's pray intensely to Jagannath by doing a short kirtan, and then the prasad is ready. We will go and have prasadam. Someone can check. I think Vaibhava is going to check.
You told you will tell temple and
We have here Prabhupada's disciple, Samadhi. His name is Jayanand Thakur. Now this personality is very, very special, to such an extent that anywhere Jagannath Rath Yatra happens around the world, his photo is put on the Jagannath Rath. Very special devotee. If I'm not wrong, please correct me. He was the one who built the first Jagannath cart. Yes. And towards the end of his, his early pastimes, he got acute cancer. And whatever Lakshmi came from his house, from his family, he gave it to Srila Prabhupada. All the details I'm just removing and cutting it short and just telling the essence. He gave it to Prabhupada and he said, what is the use of using this money for this body? Please use this for printing books. And Prabhupada was so touched by that. Again, long stories, cut short. Jayanand Prabhu was the temple president, in the place where he was serving. And it's described that all the time he would be busy. All the time he would be busy doing various different services. Even when Prabhupada would come, he was there doing some background service. And all the other disciples who were there, all the other devotees who were there, Jai Prabhupada, in front of Prabhupada jumping. Prabhupada would be busy doing some service in the background. And it is described that Prabhupada would call for Jayanand Prabhu and talk to him personally. They were all in love with Jayanand Prabhu. Because Jayanand Prabhu had a very intimate relation, intimate dealings with all these different shopkeepers also. Described that when a devotee asked Jayanand Prabhu that how to understand that I'm advancing in devotional service, or how do you analyze that how you are advancing in devotional service? So Jayanand Prabhu made a statement. He said, I don't have time for all this. I have so much of service to do. These are the personalities who have set very high standard, very high standard of devotional service. And they, through their example, they prove it to us that if we have got human form, it's only for one reason, that is service. Service of Guru and Krishna. And through their entire pastime, they make this statement through their example, through their speech, that this life is meant for only one thing, that is service to Guru and Krishna. And when Jayanand Prabhu left, so Srila Prabhupada made a statement, he went back, home back to Godhead. Senapati Bhakta of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is making this statement. Can you imagine that? So when Prabhupada was present, Jayanand Prabhu left his body. So in this way, we have Samadhi of Jayanand Prabhu here. Now, it's very difficult to get that service mode that he had. But as I already said in yesterday's class also, that these personalities are personally present in their Samadhi. So we can beg and pray to him that please bless us, with that service attitude. If we can get the drop of the ocean of service mode that this great personality Jayanand Prabhu had, I think our life will be successful. And Samadhi is open. So you can take darshan, and pray to Jayanand Prabhu and offer your praise intensely to him, praying for this one thing, service attitude. Please bless us with service attitude and please empower us so that we can also serve the way you did in your times. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Prasad is ready. I would request Achyut Prabhu to do some kirtan. Hare Krishna.
What time, at what year he left?
It is written there, you can see.
Because before Prabhupada he left, so how Samadhi is there? In 78 this temple being, in 78 we got this land, so after that only Samadhi would have been created.
No, possible. Maybe it might be Pushpa Samadhi or I don't know, details. No.
Why the altar is closed? I don't know.